Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories of our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. All right, thank you. We can take our seats. As introduced myself, my name is Dennis Manuel. I'll be taking you through the proceeding of this quite important and very special event, where we'll be having a panel discussion with our policymakers. We'll have experts and the leadership of Opuwo town. To move on the program, before we go any further, I would like to invite on the podium the Chief Executive of Opuwo just to give us a welcoming remarks, and then we can move on. Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Dennis, didn't catch the surname. Manuel. Dennis Manuel, thank you so much for giving me the floor. Let me greet our esteemed guests that are here. I see the senior here is Honorable Victorino Simon, Local Authority Councillor. And in absentia, let me also greet other honorable councillor that are also represented by Victorino Simon. I see the traditional authority, senior headman of traditional authority, Omo Inyangu Nambadembi. Yatengwa njiva Hiro Bipuka. I see Mr. Kapi, Senior Councillor of Vita Royal House also coming through. Ben Kapi, can you come closer, please? Bekumunu now. Let me also greet Chief Inspector Behangaida Redra Hinjo, also in our mix. Thank you so much for representing your entity and as well as your family. You're welcome. Let me also greet Namibia Tourism Board that are also here with the mix. I see the team is fully represented from Namibia Tourism Board, so you are welcome. Let me also greet my senior, Mr. Kasauna. Kasauna wodonjo. Shidwa kumono tujo wodonjo. Oruma chitibi. Omuduma. Oh, baya wakwetu wandumbava sana nu. Muduma no ungura wodonjo. Okay. All right. Mr. Muduma. Elephant Walk. Yes, thank you very much for coming. All the government representative, media, that is hard at work trying to make this event very visible to the nation. Thank you so much. On behalf of the Honorable Mayor, Honorable Kasipo Kakondo, I'm going to read the speech as it was prepared for him. And it starts as follows. It's both an honor and privilege to warmly welcome you to this strategic IDABA on green hydrogen, oil, gas, tourism, and mining, hosted here in our beautiful town of Opuwo. This gathering marks a significant milestone in our collective effort to harness Namibian abundant natural resources for sustainable development, while positioning Opuwo and the greater Kunene region as a emerging player in a green and attractive economies. We are particularly proud to host thought leaders, policymakers, investors, academic, and community holders under one roof to deliberate on opportunities that lie in these key sectors. This synergy between green hydrogen, oil and gas exploration, tourism, and mining offers immense potential, not only for economic growth, but for employment creation, skills development, and transformation of local livelihoods. As we engage in robust discussion over the next session, I urge each one of you to embrace innovation, collaboration, and environmental responsibility as a cornerstone of the future we envisage. Let us ensure that the benefit of these industries are inclusive and that the people of this region are active participants and beneficiary of their own development. In closing, I wish to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the Opuwo Town Council for organizing this visionary platform. May this endeavor be a catalyst for action, outcome, and long-lasting partnership. I thank you.
I think she deserves another round of applause. She volunteered to translate, Chierero.
Yeah, I will try to translate, Chierero, so that our audience, they are also not left behind. Eungindi mbele semba eunginda ya njo meya okuya kurochi wanashe ya pumasha shibaka darabo namba pumasha ochino china hepero kusha tuthokukara nodondungende tekimba ponderi nai kusha tuyenene kutwa obandu vetu bakunene no bapuwo morubede rokusha bekare no rupa mo binenge shimuno no green hydrogen na no maoli no hasa video mehia vish ya okusha uthupino meya wakasha ochina himachika hepa kushavi ene mukare mono rupa chinene mukare mono no mapuriro ngerio mapaturuke heno ndira pono mayanjiro wodondunge mapaturuke heno ndira chimamukakara no chihungirirohi ya kusha tuchite kushavi binenge mbipombyo video mehimbi vianje owa po utumbe kovandu oveni beripotuvedeho okuyo chimamuningirwa kusha injeye mukare mono rupa chinene amutira okuhungira kusha muchite kucho ochichitwahi chirirondo neno nokusha abihembi matuhungiremba tuliko TV nai bandu mabe tupuratene kuja bihembi matuhungiremba virire ongutathaneno yetu njima icheta kuja yetu wako bandu wo origin aji pomberi po virongo vyao pupedha obingurithi wambi po video mehimbi akwepa.
All right, thank you very much for that summarizing of translation. We move on with our program. Next on our item is the main thing that brought us here, which is, of course, a panel discussion focusing more on green hydrogen, oil and gas, tourism, and mining, of which I'm going to join my panelists. If you can look on my far right, that's where they are seated, and I'll just move over to join them so that we can start. Just to start on, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this high-impact, attractive dialogue where ideas ignite change and leaders drive transformation. Today we are bringing you together Namibia's finest change makers from the corridors of policy to the frontliners of industry for an inspiring and exchange on how we unlock the green hydrogen economy, elevate regional potential, and build inclusive futures. As I introduced myself, my name is Dennis Manuel, and I'll be leading this insightful and at the same time very important conversation. Let's get to meet our powerhouse panelists of visionaries, movers and groundbreakers who will help us shape this conversation. We'll be engaging, that's of course, Jonah Musheko, who is the lead external affairs and communications for Namibia Green Hydrogen. Our green transition starts with him becoming a leader or a voice in Namibia Green Hydrogen ambitious, Jonah Musheko. With passion and precision, he will unpack what it truly means to build a sustainable and inclusive green hydrogen, and is an expert. He will share insights on the potential of revolutionize our energy sector. He will also touch base on the importance of the regulations when it comes to frameworks and policy support. And then on the other point, which is of crucial, he will also touch base on how we can empower women and youth in attractive industries such as the green hydrogen. He will be joining us virtually. Unfortunately, we are experiencing some few glitches, but we are trying to sort it out. And then we move next to tourism, which is one of the biggest catalysts in our country. We'll be joined, or I'm joined by Ms. Paula Oliver. She's the executive marketing at Namibia Tourism Board. And she will be here just to touch base on how tourism can transform Kunene into a must-visit destination, and then also the role that they play as Namibia Tourism Board in crafting strategies in tourism narratives. And then on the last point, she will touch base on how trade, travel, and storytelling converge to boost local economies and our livelihoods. And then, Madam Paula, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. And then we move to our local authority. He will touch base on the importance, why it's very important that Kunene, in particular, Opuwo town, must tap into this very important sector, which is, of course, the green hydrogen, as well as the tourism sector, not forgetting the mining. He will now talk more on the regional potential across tourism, trade, and services. And then on the last point, I will talk about how public-private collaboration can ignite real and lasting growth. Mr. Victorino, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right. And then last, we'll be speaking to the expert, someone who is doing the work already on the ground, Mr. Mumbu. Yeah, he will basically talk to us the opportunities and maybe untap on mineral resources that are found within the region, and perhaps touch base on the gaps, and as well the sustainable of small-scale mining models. And also lastly, he will talk on how Kunene can be prepared to capitalize on mining as a key economic pillar while protecting people and the planet. Mr. Mumbu, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Just to start off with our discussion, I will start with our councillor, since we are being hosted in your locality. Just perhaps take us through how can the town council facilitate the investment and business development aligned with national priorities like green hydrogen and mining.
Thank you, moderator. From the council perspective, I am pleased to represent and equally share the insights or the views of council with regard to positioning ourselves with the green hydrogen and oil and gas as much as we are concerned. We know green hydrogen is a new commodity, and we know how it has touched base internationally, and I am confident that no town would want to be left out. So with Opuwo as well, having observed that we are located closely to main areas that were observed as beneficial to green hydrogen. We speak of Cape Ria, some of the places. With town council, we have learned that it is necessary, given the power that we have, that was invested into us by the community. We have powers to roll out or to bring out policies to ensure that we accommodate green hydrogen. So with this, the first aspect is to ensure that when green hydrogen touches base in our region, investors that are investing in there have place in our town to ensure that we have enough land to accommodate them. We have facilities to make sure that when they come into Opuwo, they don't feel or they don't see the necessity going to our next town to ensure that they receive the services that they require. So I believe for now, as council, those are the policies that we are working on to ensure that we are part of the green hydrogen aspect. Thank you.
Awesome. As we definitely know that our late president will definitely always say Namibia is for all. Namibia one nation, one country. Just to move on to our Patrick Mumbu, I just want to get an overview from you in terms of the community-based mining models, since you are already on the ground. Perhaps that could be adopted to ensure that equitable benefit is indeed among the people in the Kunene region.
What is the question?
Okay. Are there any community based mining models that could be adopted to ensure that equitable benefit in sharing?
Yes, there are models are there, but which are there currently at the moment? Some might be dormant, but they are there. Models such as community cooperatives in mining, partnership with the, or forming joint venture with the investor mining in the specific areas. These can be formed. Mining associations. Currently, we're having a Kunene Regional Small-Scale Miners Association, which is in a way is dormant, but we are basically reviving it. And these models can be learned from other successful models, such as in Tanzania and Ghana, which their community-based mining have led to economic and local development on community levels.
Awesome. Perhaps can we get an indication from our technical crew? Are we able to connect with our communications person from the green hydrogen? All right. I think we are still experiencing technical glitches there. We move on. Let me touch base now on the tourism sector when it comes now in the Kunene, to be specific, in Opuwo. Madam Paula, maybe perhaps, how is NTB currently working to ensure that Kunene, and specifically to be specific in Opuwo, how are we ensuring that it is well marketed in a high potential tourism hub?
Yes, good morning, and thank you for the opportunity once again. My name is Paula, and I'm dealing mostly with marketing. And if I have to give a little background as to what is this tourism sector and what is the functions of the Namibia Tourism Board. Now, the Namibia Tourism Board has got two key main functions. One is to promote Namibia as a tourism destination, locally, regionally, and internationally. Second to that is one of the functions of the NTB is to regulate the industry. What does it mean? Regulate the industry means to make sure that the standards prescribed to facilities, for instance, hotels, bed and breakfast, guest house, are up to standard to meet the requirement of the international visitor or a tourist per se. Now, what is a tourist? A tourist is somebody that moves from one area to another one. Now, me being a Namibian and currently in Opuwo, I'm a tourist in Opuwo, isn't it? I'm a tourist in Opuwo. So from that perspective, and to come back to your question, is that being here for the past 2 weeks, I've spotted huge potential in this area, but untapped, I would say, untapped potential. Much more needs to be done on the grassroots level to really do justice to this area. Thank you so much.
All right. I picked up something on your emphasis is more work has to be done to make sure that we are on that level, of course, which will make me move to our councillor, Mr. Victorino. Perhaps you can just take us through the steps that the town council is taking to ensure that Opuwo is not left behind in terms of transitioning and moving together as a country on this project, the green hydrogen.
All right, thank you, moderator. And with regard to green hydrogen, I think that's where you're going back again, yes. Where we have slightly emphasized, or I slightly emphasized to say, the first thing first is the town council to ensure that it positions itself in ensuring that the investors that have interest into investing into green hydrogen. To be specific, I was last year I was privileged to have joined a familiarization visit to visit these green hydrogen projects, from the Daures to Arandes to the High Iron project up to Ludrets. And one thing that we have learned with the High Iron project in Arandes is that they are an iron producer. And according to their study, they have learned that most of this highest deposit that is needed is found to be in Opuwo, from the Oromana stream, cutting through Opuwo. So what does that tell us? It says, should investors want much of iron, where do they have to place themselves? So strategically, they have to ensure that they are closer to Opuwo. So Opuwo has to ensure that for these investors that have interest in this are accommodated. First thing first, we provide them with accommodation. Secondly, is to ensure that we have services provided for them, that no any other third party that has to come in to ensure that they provide services to them, but we should be first hand. So these are issues and aspects that we are trying to ensure that we capitalize on as a council. Thank you.
Okay, with the emphasis that is coming from the Honorable Councillor, I would like to position a question to Mr. Mumbu. How can small-scale mining companies coexist with green hydrogen initiatives, especially in areas like land use and environmental sustainability?
Yeah, coexistence, Mr. Moderator, with small-scale mining and green hydrogen program can coexist. Yes, it's possible through integrated land use. There should be a mechanism in place where the land is zoned, reserved for mining, reserved for green hydrogen. And sustainable land management should be the order of the day. What do you mean when you talk about sustainable development, land management, rehabilitation of land when those holes are dug by the miners should be prioritized and monitored continuously.
Okay, seeing that we have a high attendance audience, maybe before I pose any questions, I'd just like to ask from the audience if you have a question or two that you'd like to position to our panelists here.
Yes, special guest, fellow youth, good day. I'm Martin Simon. The audio, oh, okay. Yes, I'm Martin Simon, an unemployed graduate. I hold an honors degree in integrated environmental science. I'm passionate about sustainable development. I just had a question. I wanted to pose this question to the manager of external affairs, but it's okay. I can maybe pose it to the guests. Yes. Us as unemployed youth, where do we see ourselves? Where do we see ourselves in such opportunities? Not just as observers, also as innovators and part of the industry. Where do we see ourselves? How do we move from here? We just hear about oil and gas, we hear about tourism, we hear about mining and all that, but we are not putting our hands really. We want to join and stepstones towards such industries. Thank you.
I think what he's trying to say, and of course I think Mr. Mumbu can answer that, is that he's a graduate and he's unemployed, and he wants to know where can they contribute in terms when it comes to sustainability of these things. My answer might not satisfy you completely, but let me try my level best. As an unemployed graduate, we are living in a free economy. One can be what you want to be, not necessarily to be employed by someone. You spot an opportunity within the mining industry, within the small-scale mining industry, and you capitalize on it. You join those in the industry. You try to determine what is their need, what is their lacking, especially if it comes to environmental practices, especially if it comes, at times they will be needing environmental impact assessments being done. You can join them and inquire with them and see how you can use your expertise to solve the problem that small-scale miners, specific small-scale miners may have. Perhaps any question? I hope that answers your question. Are you satisfied? Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Patrick. In addition.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Moderator. Just to add on to sustainability inclusivity with regard to youth involvement. We are well aware from the inception when green hydrogen was introduced, there was a fund that was running, and there was an extract of number of young graduates that were picked from different regions to be part or to be included within the green hydrogen. But not only for them to go straight into the industry, but to be educated further, for them to grab the skills to ensure that when the moment we have green hydrogen in the ground, we do not only rely on the skills of the outsiders, but we have our own skilled youth. So that is one. The government has already looked at that. And then on the other thing that, like I said, I was part of the Daures. I went to visit the Daures facility. One key thing that they were looking at is that they want to ensure that they develop something like more of a VTC that is going to educate a number of youth on all components and aspects that are used within the green hydrogen industry. So if it has to be a streamline of a pipe where that gas has to run through, it must be maintained by our Namibian youth. So we have to position and ensure that we position ourselves to be visible within those lines. Thank you.
More clarity now. You are satisfied. Any additional questions from the audience? I'll take the Chief Inspector.
Thank you so much for the opportunity granted to me. Like now I'm here, I'm not speaking as a Chief Inspector, I'm speaking as the business woman. My question goes to the mining industry. I have a concern, so to say. Us who are small mining scales and the starters, I can tell you that I have personally been going around the region. And when you come at the place that you identify and think that maybe this is the place that I'm going to seek for consent so that I can take ownership, most of the areas, they are already occupied. They have owners that possess EPL. So now I want to find out, as people who are in the region, what can be the solution perhaps? Because every area that you go, coordinates are already taken and there are owners that possess EPL. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. I think we can direct that one to Councillor on the ownership, and then he can tap onto the...
All right. Yes. Okay, this I would attempt it from a personal understanding to say, yes, we have observed, because I was one of those keen young men who had interest into mining industry. And one thing that I have learned was that, yes, it's true, most of these areas are all marked and pegged. They have owners. And one thing that I have equally learned was that we still the owners of these lands through the traditional authorities, consent granted by traditional leaders and so forth. For now, it's to take advantage of the expiry periods. That's one thing that I have learned according to my own perspective, expiry periods, to know that when the time of expiry of this EPL, we as a community take advantage in ensuring that we position ourselves to ensure that we apply and do not grant consent to these EPLs so that we can take ownership. That's one thing that I have learned from my own perspective.
Yeah, my sister is quite right. That's very frustrating. That is the order, what we are facing on a daily basis. Actually, I'm not speaking on behalf of the Ministry of Mines. I'm speaking as a small-scale miner. The current law is not small-scale mining friendly at all, not at all. The current status is that we, the small-scale miners, are left to the mercy of the APL holders. But with the current administration, which look like for me to more proactive, attempts are underway to lobby with our politicians to change our Mineral Act, Act number 33 of 1992. Once that act is changed, once that act got a clause in whereby the rights and interests of small-scale miners is addressed properly, then we will be protected by the law. At the current moment, as it stands, once you find a spot and there is an APL already, you have to obtain an APL from that specific APL holder. Most of them, 95%, they are evasive, they are ignorant, you will never meet them. I have a personal life experience of that. And there is no remedy in the Act. What you as a small-scale miner should do, should this APL holder unreasonably deny you this consent letter. But with the current, as I've said, with the current administration, with our current vibrant Minister of Mines and Energy, Honorable Ithete, I think even during this first term, 5 years term, 5 years is not that long, things gonna change for the better.
You are getting an assurance, the Chief Inspector. I think I saw a hand this side. Just take one more question, then we come back to the high table.
Good day, thank you so much. My name is Sarafina. Can I go ahead? My name is Sarafina, and my question is, I think most of us, we are just here listening and we are hearing green hydrogen. And so my question is exactly, maybe can a panel member just explain to us what exactly is green hydrogen and what does it do? And what is the benefit to our people, especially here in Opuwo? Perhaps I can get that clarity, because most of us, we're just listening green hydrogen, but we don't really know what green hydrogen is. Thank you.
I wish Mr. Jonah is on the line now, because I believe that question is basically meant for him to explain in details what exactly is green hydrogen. Perhaps anyone from the panelists to take up that question? Yes, to explain what exactly it.
All right. The little understanding that I've got to learn through my visit and understanding what green hydrogen initially is about. First thing first, when we used to hear green hydrogen, we look for a green commodity that after production it must look like green, it must have size, it must have what. But after we have learned is that the aspect of green is because it is a produce of water and air, so which is regarded as green, as clean energy. So with green hydrogen itself, there is a number of products that is produced within the concept of green hydrogen, where they speak of iron, they speak of ammonia, they speak of a lot of products that are produced. And then even to an extent that with extraction, they go to even to an extent of producing pesticides, to an extent of producing fertilizers. So it's quite broad. That is just a little understanding that I've got to learn through the visits that I had. Thank you.
Are we happy with that answer? We think we should also, a question? Where's the mic? The gentleman in a suit.
Morning always. I am Master Binge. I want more to elaborate on green hydrogen. Because what is the damage to us as a community? The damage, there is a damage. There must be a damage. Even in the mining, there is a damage. It's one elaborate more.
Yeah, the impact of green hydrogen, especially in the community.
All right. Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Mbinge, for the question. I'm attempting to answer through the little experience that I have learned. Like they say, green hydrogen is scaled up to an extent that at most views, it's more of advantages that are preached. But everything that has advantages, there's an other side of disadvantage as well. So with regard to the production of ammonia, yes, we have learned that the damage will be only should there be an accident with regard to transportation and so forth. With regard to high iron, just like we have said, this is a production of iron. This iron is the one that is used to produce cars. So the ore, it has to be mined just like a normal mine. So obviously there would be a damage to environment, or pits will be there, and extensive deforestation will be there. So those will be the advantages. So initially, that's where Mr. Mumbu was talking with regard to sustainability, that it comes with rehabilitation and so forth. But obviously, yes, there are extensive damages, but obviously to a study or to a certain level with regard to environmental impact assessment, yes, we hope it is not really going to have such massive damage to our community. Thank you.
Okay, I think that answers your question. It's good that you are happy. If you are happy, we are also happy. We come back now to our questions. I'll try to dissect a bit from the green hydrogen and come back to the tourism sector. Madam Paula, can you just tell us what new tourism campaigns or initiatives are being developed that target international markets while leveraging Kunene's uniqueness?
Yes, thank you very much, moderator, for the question. The NTB embarked on aggressive destination marketing. What I mean by that is we are really trying our level best to showcase the uniqueness of our products around the country. Now, I always say that Namibia is really a God's blessing to us because we've got really great potential and great destinations in this country that we cannot, or that our neighboring countries cannot compete with. And if I have to highlight some of them, most probably is, for instance, the Fish River Canyon in the south. Now, the Fish River Canyon in the south is the only in Africa, and it's the second largest in the whole of the world after the Grand Canyon of America. Now, you'll find a lot of visitors come out just to see how Fish River Canyon complement or compete with the Grand Canyon in the USA. Now, that is just one, for instance. We've got Sources Flay area in the south. It marked the highest sand dunes in the world. You have the Dead Flay in the south. I mean, there's huge, huge potential and products in this country. And that is what really gives us the boost and the freedom to go out to the international world to market this country, to tell the people that, listen, come see what we have in our country as Namibia. To come back to Kunene, in specifically this region, there is, if I can mention it again, untapped potential in this area. And I would really say that, yes, of course, there is potential, and we can definitely already start with the Opuwo Falls, the Ruacana Falls. I myself, as I said, I'm a tourist in these 2 weeks in the region. I went to Ruacana Falls yesterday, and I've spotted a lot of development or need to development in that area. So I would say, yes, we can take out this rich culture, this rich history of the people, and we have done it. We have done it already. We have just recently had an international event in South Africa, whereby we have taken the Ovahimba tribe, and we showcase this unique tribe on our stand. It draws massive attention to the international stands and stages.
You guys are doing quite a good job there. I'll also attest to what she is saying. I've also been here like for 3 to 4 days, and I've seen quite a lot of things, interesting things that can really draw the international and foreigners to come and invest or maybe explore the nature that we have here, specifically in the Kunene region. Just staying on that, on the tourism sector, I would like to merge 2 of my questions for Honorable Councillor. That's how, okay, let me start with the unemployment one. What specific economic sectors, including the tourism sector, of course, is Opuwo prioritizing to create jobs and retain young talent in the region? And then the second one, just to merge them together, is how can tourism development better integrated into the town's broader urban planning and infrastructure strategies?
All right, thank you, Dennis. With regard to youth empowerment and employment, the Opuwo Town Council is looking into a number of aspects to ensure that we contribute to youth employment. At current, the council has introduced the zero waste strategy. This is a subject where we want to ensure that Opuwo remains clean, and while it remains clean, it provides jobs to youth. In many towns or in many places, you would find that people that would collect waste around town are permanent employees of council, or sometimes they outsource it to contractors. But with the Opuwo Town Council has ensured that this job is done by the youth. They contribute to the cleanliness, and equally, they take this waste to a zero waste center, where they sort the plastics, the bottles, and so forth, that in the end, they make income as well. So that is one. The second one is that the council has ensured to integrate or to make sure that they partner with the Ministry of Agriculture, because we understand Opuwo is surrounded by community, or is a center of farming. The livelihood is about farming. So livestock is key. So at current, at the place where we are here, with the Trade Fair Center, that we call it, the council has ensured that they put up a small structure where our vendors slaughter their animals here. And then also in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, as well as having been partners, we have a slaughterhouse that has been expanded to a level of an abattoir. That is also a contribution to an increase to a number of young youth that are going to be employed there. So just to mention a few. With regard to tourism, first thing first, I would like to appreciate the involvement of our institutions, IUM, UNAM. They have realized and noticed that tourism sector is more of a gold mine to our country. So, and we have a number of our youth that have gotten involved into tourism, that they study tour guides. So they are tour guiding. When they come back here, we always try to ensure that we provide platform for them. So that includes or supports their dream towards tourism sector, and equally provides job for them. Thank you.
Awesome. Well answered. We'll come with the questions. Just to move over to Mr. Mumbu on the same question, but a bit revised. How can mining ventures be used to uplift local economies while adhering to environmental and social standards?
Mining ventures can contribute immensely to the local economies through, if the needed support is given. Needed support includes accessibility to financing. Small-scale mining are faced with various challenges. And if their challenges is addressed, they can contribute immensely. As you may know, mining is not for sprinters, it's for marathon runners. It's for those people who can endure. And to endure, you are spending and keep on spending without returns, without receiving money. So these people, if they can have access to the needed tools and financing, it can fasten the realization of their revenue, and through that create jobs. At current, it's only those people with entrepreneurial skills, with endurance, who go out there declaring themselves being small-scale miners, working hard there without getting money. We assemble a couple of people together who are sharing the same mission. But if those entrepreneurs can be capacitated, employment will be ascertained, definitely. And there should be a regional trading hub should be established where these small-scale miners can sell their produce at relatively market and fair prices, as opposed to the current status where they are selling to those who come to their quarries, buying their materials for peanuts, and in the end, revenue being dispersed among them is just minimal, and it's not meaningful at all. It doesn't bring a change in a person's life. If the authority can set up an institution, let's say in Opuwo, which will buy this material and in bulk and sell it in bulk to the international market, better revenue will be realized and more employment will be created.
Awesome. Just on the upliftment of our economies, to be specific, in the Kunene region, and as well the empowerment of the youth, I'd like to position a question to you, Madam Paula, on the role of digital platforms and content creators. What role do they play in amplifying Kunene's visibility on the global tourism?
Yeah, I always say we have to live by the current trends, or we have to adapt to the current trends. And if one, for instance, look into the youth specifically, we see that nowadays they are living in a digital age and world that 10 years back was not the issue. So what we should do is, from a youth level or youth perspective, is to really spot our uniqueness in the area. I mean, digital content can go so much faster, so much further, can reach absolutely the global world in a split of seconds. So that is one of the things that I would encourage our youth on grassroots levels. Please come up with content, come up with footage of the uniqueness of this area. And there's Instagram, there's so many social media hubs that you can really advertise your unique culture and your heritage in this area. And that will definitely open up a window for the international tourists to say, wow, this is something unique I haven't seen. This is really something that I would want to visit. I've mentioned to one of the youth that came to our stand, and I've told them sometimes on the international platforms where we showcase our products, many a times, I would say almost like 7 out of 10 incidents, they will come with a picture of an Ovahimba lady or the Ovahimba tribe, and we can hardly even engage with each other because it's maybe an Italian-speaking guy or a Spanish lady, but by the show of the picture, me go there. Then they show us the Ovahimba lady or the Ovahimba culture, and you could see the interest that people would really, because this is something unique to them. They would really want to come there. And even if they have to just come for this specific beautiful heritage that we have, why not? But how can we take it out there? It's for our youth to go into really the digital, transcend into your content, your videos, your storytelling into that footage, upload it, and also give detailed information. How can people contact you? It's also very important that we should have a knowledgeable guide on the ground, because who can tell your story better than the person on the ground? And that is actually where I would want to really encourage our youth today. We have a saying in tourism that say tourism is everyone's business. If you have an idea in tourism, you have a business. If you have the passion, you have a business. It does not highlight certain people, certain I am youth, that you can own a tourism business. But it's for you to stand up, move forward, get the information, train yourself in becoming a professional tour guide so that people can start to interact. When you showcase your Ruakana waterfalls, your Ipupa Falls, your Ovahimba events, whatever events you might have on the ground, you showcase that events, you will definitely having a business in tourism.
Thank you very much for that insightful answer. I just got an indication that Mr. Jonah Musheko is now online. Mr. Jonah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Afternoon. Afternoon.
Mr. Jonah, I could hear you, but now I lost you. How are you?
You hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. You are joining us from Windhoek, I believe.
Yes, yes.
We apologize for that glitch. We're just trying to establish a connection between us here at Opuwo and Mr. Jonah Musheko, who was supposed to be sharing more details on the green hydrogen, as he is the head and the lead of communication for green hydrogen program in Namibia. We move on with our discussion as we are moving towards the end of the discussion. I'll open the Q&A just for 3 questions. We try to make them very short because we are running out of time. Okay, the mic.
Yes, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Yeah. Mine is to the councillor. That, do the council have any plan in place, either now or later, to fence off the boundary of the town for these animals that are roaming around? And number 2, do we have a selling point, perhaps, whereby farmers, instead of selling their animals at any corner, do we have a place where they can sell their goats, their whatever? Thank you.
Okay, I think let's collect the questions. That one was for the councillor. I hope you get it.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Senopia Sharon Kashuongwa, an NCCI representative, and also from the Ministry of Education, a culture officer for the region. Therefore, the topic is on my heart, both sides, coming to tourism when it comes to culture, coming to business industries, all these are my babies. Therefore, on that note, I wanted just to ask, I'm afraid and I'm so like the current circulations in our region, especially when it comes to minings. Those people take the deposit that they took from the regions, raw they are, without any processing, without anything that is planted here, and they have been taken somewhere, modified. When they become something, then they return back with a price that we cannot afford. What is it that the small miner or the mining associations helping us so that at least these people that are taking our resources, they must make plantations around here, process it here for the job market so that others can be employed. When they are fully whatever, those others can buy from us on the other end. That is number 1. The GDP of our country, when it comes to hydro, it's going to be high. That is very good. But as you can see, the wind that we experienced just few minutes, after the wind, it's not going to be hot. What are you going to do on that so that you can utilize our regions for those 2 renewable resources that we have? On that note, I submit. Thank you.
Good afternoon. As already introduced, or let me introduce myself, as the Chief Executive Officer of Opuwo Town Council. Mine will be a takeaway, not necessarily a question. When it comes to mining, I would like to, should I request the government or the policymakers to ensure that in claims or as well as in EPL, there is also a package of financial support. You will find the person is having a claim, but he does not even have an equipment to start. So at the end of the day, these people, they sacrifice their claims to those that have resources. So how do we empower those people financially so that they take ownership of what they have, especially the communities, traditional authority, traditional leaders that are from those regions. They do have the claims, but you end up, they give it to the foreigners or those powerful people with resources. Another thing also is awareness, that I will also request that Ministry of Mines should really do aggressive awareness in terms of the processes of owning an EPL, the processes of having a claim, so that our communities are aware. Because we have been told, I'm from Oromana myself, I'm hearing that there is lithium, this whole mountain, the lithium or the copper that is in that village can give or can provide enough iron to the entire world. But myself, there's no even a day where the Ministry of Mines have engaged the community to say, this is what you have. You will find they come to the village, they are asking for land, they want to do exploration. Then at the end of the day, when the community or traditional leaders are refusing, it looks like the people are refusing for development, but which is not the case. It's the case of awareness, the approach. Yeah, so that is a really concern, and we are requesting or appealing for more awareness. There was also a question of unemployment to the youth, and it's really a concern to us as leaders. And that is why we are creating platforms like this, so that we create this awareness, not to say that we have solutions, but to look for solutions, together with them. That is why if there is any event, there is a council meeting, there is any event of this, just look at the attendance here. But the people that we are targeting is the youth, but their attendance is not there. So it's really a concern that the youth is not taking ownership, and the space is, yes, it's challenging. The public entity, they don't have job for them. But in terms of entrepreneurship, the space is huge. It's huge. It's up to them to take ownership. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, CEO. I think we'll take the answers, then we can have 2 more questions, then we can close. We'll start with the Honorable Councillor.
All right, thank you, sir, for the question. If I recall well, the first one was with regard to possibilities of fencing of the boundary. That is the concern of animal movement within town. The second one, all right, okay. The second one was regarding the creation of platforms or areas where our farmers can sell their livestock. Okay, first thing first, with regards to animal movement, fencing of a town, it's something of a subject that is out of board. That with regard, putting into account the cost and all that. So the only boundary that we can use as a fence is to ensure that we have a bylaw that regulates, that ensures that we control animal movement within town. So which is in place. We have the bylaw. What the council have that is now impacting on is to ensure that they put extensive effort into animal impounding, to ensure that when you have livestock that are around the town, you make sure that you protect them, you keep them out of town. Should they reach within the town boundary, the council will impound them. So where it will result into charges to the owner, or the council will take ownership of your livestock. Those are bylaws that are available, and the town is really trying to ensure that they take control within that regard. The second one is with regard to areas where our farmers can sell their livestock. Yes, we are well aware. Our farmers, first thing first, the pressure of market. That is one thing. The pressure of price value with regard to their livestock. That's the second thing. And then, but creating platform or an area. One thing we are grateful to the Ministry of Agriculture through the cooperative farmers and the Farmers Union. We have stock marketing crawl that is just a few meters away from the boundary line of the council. So we emphasize mostly to ensure that our people should use that facility. That is one. And the other part also, the council is also looking into ensuring that we produce or we make available a number of places to ensure that we have enough space for our people to sell their livestock. So, but for now, the current one that we have is the one that is to the east of the town. It's called Ochorungondo. That's where the area is, but that one is under the control of the Farmers Union. Thank you.
Next question, if I remember very well, by our sister. Maybe you can take up that one.
Yeah. I will take on the issue.
Mubu, just try to make it a bit
I'll take
brief.
on the issue of my sister Kashiwongwa here about raw minerals leaving the region, unprocessed. Yes, that's true. I know the government is having a policy or initiative of local value addition. And if we are having, from my own perspective, not for as I've said, I'm not talking about on behalf of the ministry. No, I'm not from the ministry at all. From my own perspective as a business person, the lack of a processing plant here is a business opportunity, which you can capitalize on. All what you do, get something registered and lobby for investors, because that is a huge investment. It requires a very huge investment. What you do, you register a business, you apply for infant industry protection, whereby the ministry or the government will enforce a law that no minerals will leave Kunene unprocessed. Obviously, then government is doing marketing for you through this Infant Industry Protection Act. Problem solved. What was your other question? Regarding mining? Is that all? Okay, thank you. Okay, well, on our side, just to add, like a copper processing plant, you require huge investment. On a very small scale, there's some entrepreneurs who are out there adding value to our minerals in the form of jewelries. That is the starting point of trying to start adding value from home, creating jobs locally instead of being imported with our own minerals or materials and being sold too expensive. We are doing it locally currently, though on a small scale. We just need more support, and it will be up and running on a bigger scale as it grows.
Okay, I think we'll end there for now. We are running out of time, and we have to head back to our studios for the broadcast of our news at 1. There you have it, Namibians. We are coming to you live from Opuwo, where we are here to cover the Opuwo Annual Trade Fair, their 12th edition of the trade fair, coming to you live from Opuwo, here in Opuwo, in the Kunene region. We're just here talking about the green hydrogen, a new sector that is indeed making strides in our country, worth of investing, and we are here exploring more and more to make sure that we invite the investors to come and explore here in Opuwo, or rather in the Kunene region. Unfortunately, I still have to continue. I was allocated more hours to engage more on this occasion. With that being said, my name is Dennis Manuel, and it's back to you in the studios.
Not sure what to do this weekend?
I've spoken to quite a few guys that are there, and they're showing great strength.
Let the Sports Breakfast Show kickstart your Saturday morning. We're bringing you an exclusive sneak peek of the local sports scene right to your screen.
It's a nice outing for a Saturday for everyone.
From bustling cities to vibrant towns, we are your gateway to a weekend filled with action, competition, and local pride.
Was coming to you live here from the VIS Verkoop Stadium in the heart of the capital.
Look, the Battle of All for NBC is quite an important part of how we do business.
Whether you are a die-hard sports fan or just looking for some weekend action, we've got you covered. Our expert analysis does not only cover the game, it brings them to life.
Prepare for an unforgettable weekend build-up all